Welcome to Bobbie Unplugged. This afternoon we will discuss the Israeli-Palestinian conflict with some very interesting guests. Over here is Olle Turoy, our weekly guest. Then we've got Dalil Fakri, our Hamas rebel, and Prime Minister Netanyahu from Israel. And of course we've got a veteran from the fighting region as well, Stef Rodenhuis.
Hello everybody.
Mr. Netanyahu, what do you think about this conflict?
Well, thank you for having me here, Bobbie. It's an honor to discuss these topics with you in this wonderful show. The conflict we're in with the Palestinian military group Hamas has been going on for years, despite our constant ask for peace negotiations. Big.
Sorry for interrupting, Netanyahu, but there's not a single bit of truth in what you just said. When you say you want to negotiate for peace, you actually want to attack our country from inside. The Israeli scum cannot be trusted.
That's absolute nonsense, sir. The Israeli side just wants to bring peace to an unstable region within its own border. As a former UN soldier, I think I know what I'm talking about. And the only thing Israel wants is peace.
We fight for our own good and we deserve a country run by an independent Islamic government. Unfortunately, we have to use violence to get what we want.
Well, this is the biggest mistake you've made so far. You think that violence will lead to independence. This is a very primitive thought. There are few occasions in which violence has led to anything good. I can't think of any which it has.
I wouldn't say the Palestinians are stupid, though they might be. But they just have to overthink their naive plans once more before taking drastic actions like the bombing of our cities and towns and our schools with little children in them.
Stef, you were neutral when you entered the war zone. What do you think about both sides in this struggle now?
Well, the Israeli side tries to protect the inhabitants by a wall, like the Berlin Wall. The big difference is that if you live within these walls and you want to go there, there will be a little that bothers you if you got a clean conscience. But however, if you want to do harm, it's most likely you will be taken off the road and measures will be taken.
Yeah, our team has found a video which explains this.
Israel's largest city was targeted for a second day, Hamas firing a missile at Tel Aviv, 44 miles from the Gaza border. But the most significant escalation is their launch of a long-range missile at Jerusalem, some 55 miles away. The Israeli military says it landed some miles south of the city in the Israeli settlement of Gush Etzion in the West Bank. Hamas are claiming that they used a previously unknown long-range missile, which they are calling an M75 Qassam. More missiles have been launched across wide areas of Israel, including Ashdod, Sderot, and several towns and military bases in southern Israel, including Rim and Ofakim. Israel has launched an even more intensive barrage of rocket fire at Gaza. Since Wednesday, it says it has attacked 500 sites. And in the last 24 hours alone, the Israeli Defense Forces say they've targeted 150 Palestinian military sites.
Well, this is not the only video we found. We also found another video accompanying this one.
A border at the best of times, balanced between war and peace. And these are not the best of times. Palestinian militants launching scores of rockets at Israel. Some Israel's defense systems can intercept, but others found a target. In Gaza, Israeli airstrikes have killed 4 militants. Both sides claim to be the victims of aggression. Neither seems in the mood to end the cycle of violence and terror.
We will not allow our civilians to be risking their lives.
But you're not looking for a fight?
We're not looking for escalation, but we will not allow our civilians to continue standing under fire.
In a coincidence of timing, Israel and America are staging an elaborate war game just 40 miles from the real conflict. The escalation in violence in Gaza comes as some 1,000 US troops arrive in Israel for the biggest anti-missile exercise in this nation's history. It's a reminder that Israel's security ultimately depends on its powerful overseas ally.
Ramstein Air Base, Germany.
Both insist they have no specific enemy in mind, but the message is clear.
Make no mistake, the United States is 100% committed to the security of Israel. That commitment drives the goal of this exercise, and that is to test and hone our combined ability to defend against missile attacks.
This week has promised dramatic change in Gaza. The Emir of Qatar arrived with bold investment plans to end Gaza's diplomatic isolation. The violence is a reminder that much is unchanged. The conflict is dangerous as ever. John Ray, ITV News, Israel.
Terrible what these people are doing to us. Terrible.
You know what's going on at this very moment? We've got our own correspondent as well.
Hello, my name is Aisha Lev and I'm currently on the border between the Gaza Strip and Israel. I've already encountered several groups of Palestinian militants who refused every offer to talk to them or an interview. All we want to know is why. Why do they keep attacking people, innocent people, like this? It is probably for the greater good, but what that greater good is still unknown.
You've been in touch with the Israeli side as well. What do you think of them?
Well, the Israelites don't know what they're up to. The people in the border region are powerless against the violence of the Palestinians.
Our people in the bordering regions are the bravest. We are very proud of them and we will keep on supporting them in their terrible struggle.
But now we're just looking at the Palestinian side. What about the Israelis?
The Israelis try to make first steps towards peace with their constant ask for negotiations. I think they know they have to give something up. They've got their limits though, as it's officially their country. They make the rules and laws on their territory.
Don't the Israelis have the rights as well? They've lived in the country for 7,000 years. It's their birthright to inhabit this country.
If everyone had the right to live in the country their ancestors lived in, there would be chaos worldwide.
We find a very interesting picture. Ole, can you explain something about it?
Well, in the first picture you see that the Palestinians inhabited most of the land, but throughout the years Israel conquered or just started inhabiting parts of the land as well.
Thank you. I don't think the conflict is really about territory at all. Rather, it's driven by Muslim bigotry, which cannot tolerate the existence of a non-Muslim state in the region. This conflict cannot be ended by any territorial concessions, but only by change in the Arab Muslims. We are open for discussion, our faith is valuable to us as well, but we don't want to give them Jerusalem, our holy city. That cannot be discussed upon.
The Bobbie Unplugged crew did their homework and they found some interesting facts. Because as of February 2013, 76.9% of the 193 member states of the United Nations have recognized the state of Palestine as a sovereign over both West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Many of the countries that do not recognize the state of Palestine nevertheless recognize the PLO as the representative of the Palestinian people.
Case closed. We've got definite decision and the state of Palestine is sovereign. What's the problem?
Well, there's a lot of uncertainty within our borders. There are several militant groups who don't agree with each other and fire rockets at will towards Israel, just to show who's strongest within our borders. Also, Hamas was democratically voted by the people of Palestine.
So that means a group of people also doesn't support you, and the other part does support your terroristic acts. At least a bit strange, don't you think?
Gentlemen, let's keep it reasonable.
This most definitely is true. There's a lot of uncertainty within the Palestinian borders. Hamas is the most well-known terrorist group, but there are many other smaller groups. If a rocket is fired at Israel, at least 5 different groups take responsibility for the rocket attack. This is why we think that they are proud of their actions.
Yeah. We found some pictures of interesting propaganda. Opinions, gentlemen?
Well, I think this is a very outdated example. Right now with Twitter and Facebook, there are many ways of sharing your personal experience with the opponents and the war itself.
And we are very aware of this. Globalization is a good thing, and these are all lies.
So this is clearly a pro-Palestine propaganda poster. But we found another one.
That's the way it really is.
Yeah, this is absolute nonsense. This is one of the dangers of the internet. Everyone can say whatever they want, and yeah, the source of people is it's just stupid.
Yeah, well, that's true. Interesting and a very dangerous sort of media. Steph, you've got a very interesting personal story as well. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, I'm proud I was able to serve the UN in this horrifying conflict. And I think I, as one of the few veterans, was able to think both as a Palestinian and as an Israeli. The big issue is that the Palestinians are constantly struggling with denial. Most of them are ruled by anger towards the persons of the Hamas leaders. I was being held hostage for 3 months. It was absolutely horrible. But let's not discuss that here. As I was held hostage, I learned their habits and I got to see them as regular, vulnerable people, provoked by the system they live in.
Is that where you lost your leg?
No, I still got my leg. I just like sitting like it.
I don't think this is true. They choose to see the state of Israel and the Jews as their arch rivals. We just aim for a country that isn't at war at once.
Well, that's our goal as well. We just try to achieve it in another way.
With that, we conclude our talk show. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll be back with President Obama, who will be discussing Obamacare. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.